So we're pretty close to starting on time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wings Over the Rockies Air and Space Museum. My name is Charlie Johnson. I have the privilege of being board chairman here, and I'm also Chief Operating Officer for XTI, and that's why y'all are here to look and see what our partnership with Xeriant and XTI is going to emerge as. We are very privileged to have you here. We're looking forward to showing you the program, and thanks to each and every one of you for your support financially, physically, the fact that you're here supporting our airplane. We've got some of our engineers and our development team here with us, so it's a pretty good, broad, diverse base of people. And we really look forward to showing you what we're going to be doing together with Xeriant and XTI. So thank you very much. And Ted, if you'd like to take over and welcome everybody, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ted Defutis, and I'm a director of Xeriant Inc. Xeriant's tagline is evolution in flight. And by that we mean our company is 100% focused on advancing the technology needed to realize the dream of fully electric flight. We strive to work with like-minded companies leading the world in the green aerospace movement like XTI. And we continuously seek out key technological advancements in batteries, wing efficiency, propulsion systems, autonomy, safety, and advanced materials in order to reach our goals. This joint development agreement marks our first major milestone to fast-track the future of green aerospace. Please stay tuned for another major announcement by the end of this month. And with that, I'd like to present a short video which will be followed by remarks from Keith Duffy, CEO of Xeriant, as well as Robert Lebel, CEO of XTI Aircraft. Thank you.
Over the past century, the aerospace industry has dramatically changed how we live, interact, and see the world. Its evolution and legacy of achievements continue today as we enter an exciting and transformational era. A time of unprecedented innovation and technological advancements, adapting to consumer demands and the transition to green energy, enabling once unimaginable flight capabilities, allowing us to explore the far reaches of our universe while better connecting people and places here on Earth. Introducing advanced air mobility, making air transportation more accessible, eco-friendly, and autonomous, and a greater part of our daily lives. Impacting how we travel and how goods are delivered, and creating new applications and business opportunities with wide-ranging implications across our economy. Xeriant is taking an active role in advanced air mobility and the future of green aerospace, partnering with visionary companies who are developing next-generation aircraft. Electrically powered and capable of vertical takeoff and landing, VTOL, which allow true point-to-point air travel, and bringing together the key leading-edge technologies that support and enhance their performance, improving safety, convenience, and sustainability. These include artificial intelligence, advanced materials, active flow control, battery energy density, thermal coatings, nano-lubricants, and distributed electric propulsion. Xeriant has signed a joint venture agreement with XTI Aircraft Company, a leader in cleantech aviation, to develop their revolutionary fixed-wing VTOL aircraft. An aircraft with unmatched operational flexibility and performance that combines speed, range, and safety in a sleek, futuristic airframe with a luxurious interior. The TriFan 600, the fastest and longest-range hybrid electric VTOL aircraft in the world, attaining a maximum cruise speed of 345 miles per hour, a range of 1,380 miles with conventional takeoff and landing, or 750 miles when taking off and landing vertically, and a maximum cruise altitude of 29,000 feet, with 40% lower CO2 emissions, 50% lower noise levels, and 50% lower operating costs compared with similar aircraft or helicopters, using a lightweight and efficient hybrid electric powertrain, and 3 ducted fans for lift, and enhanced safety features that include redundant electric motors, fly-by-wire controls, a full airframe ballistic parachute, IFR certification, and a 10-to-1 glide ratio. The TriFan 600 is scalable and has the versatility to fulfill a broad array of mission profiles, encompassing the business commuter aviation segment, emergency medical transport, urban air mobility, and potentially military applications. XTI's highly experienced executive team includes the former chairman and CEO of Augusta-Westland North America, the former president and COO of Cessna Aircraft Company, and the former chairman and CEO of XTI Aircraft Company, who, combined, have developed and certified over 30 new aircraft. XTI and Xeriant are committed to advancing aerospace innovation and technologies that increase the availability of air travel and make our world more connected. The universal dream of flying, a fascination that often begins in childhood, is part of our nature. The human spirit. Over a century of innovation has brought aerospace closer to realizing the freedom of personal mobility through on-demand flight. As we look to the future, we realize that aerospace's journey of discovery and innovation is only beginning, and its final destination will always be just beyond the horizon. Innovation soaring.
Wow, great video. My name's Keith Duffy. Excuse me, I'm the CEO of Xeriant. Thank you for being here today at this spectacular venue that recognizes aerospace's legacy of achievements and the aircraft that have actually changed the world that are around us. As we look at these majestic aircraft, we see how the industry has evolved as new technologies have enabled new capabilities and missions, a dynamic that continues today. We are at an inflection point in the industry, a transitional period of innovation unlike any other in history, which promises greater accessibility to aerial mobility with a reduced environmental footprint. Through the development of revolutionary new VTOL aircraft with electric or hybrid electric propulsion. A week ago, we announced our joint venture with XTI Aircraft, which began a new era for our company. We are honored to be partnering with such an impressive team with visionary leaders not unlike those who preceded them, who have transformed how we live and how we connect with each other. XTI's experienced and accomplished team is unmatched in the industry, with over 30 aircraft developed and certified. We would like to introduce now the CEO of XTI, Bob Lebel. Thank you.
Afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming out to see us today. And thanks for the nice remarks, Keith and Ted. We second your emotion and intent with respect to partnering with you and really launching finally the full-scale development of the aircraft. And we feel like this event, this initiation of this relationship puts us on the road to certification. So thank you very much. I also want to recognize a few members that Keith mentioned of our team at XTI. First of all, Dave Brody, the founder and chairman. Dave, stand up. Yeah. Dave's the vision behind this beautiful machine that you see in 1/3 scale here to our right. That's his baby. He conceived it, drew it, designed it, and then he's handing it over to us, those of us who have experience in development, testing, certification, and fielding to make that vision a reality. We have 100% confidence we are able to do that. We've done it before. Next, I want to mention a little bit about the gentleman that welcomed you here, Charlie Johnson. Yes, he is chairman of this Wings Over the Rocky, and he and the team that supports him in this fantastic capability are the ones that brought all this in here and made it happen. He was just telling me how the ceiling was low like that all the way across, the cement floor was in poor shape, and they fixed it all up and then went around the world and picked these amazing examples of the history of aviation and put them in place here. So that's just one little thing he did on one of his 10 different side jobs. Meanwhile, you know, if you know Charlie, you'll know that was one of the early selectees to the worldwide Living Legends of Aviation. He's also in the Colorado Aviation Hall of Fame and the Kansas, State of Kansas Hall of Fame. So we are just so tremendously, you know, ecstatic that Charlie is with us. He's my COO, but, you know, he's my guide through this journey, and I feel another reason why we feel so confident in our ability to get the job done. Next we have our CFO, Sarita, my alter ego, who's kept me going over the many months. Stand up. Well, wait a minute, I said stand up. I had to use that, sorry. And Jim Kronberg right here in front is our chief pilot. Just incredible guy. Stand up, Jim, please. Jim's Marine. He's got a lot of vertical lift experience because he flew the AV-8B Harrier for the U.S. Marine Corps for many years. And then, what Charlie might say, he got smart and switched to the Air Force. I wouldn't agree with that. But anyway, when he did that as a test pilot, he became a test director for the modern F-35 Lightning aircraft for the U.S. Air Force and the whole of DoD. So really, really wonderful to have him on the team, too. A few more people I'll just point out quickly without diminishing their significance. Don Barber, standing up there taking my picture, is a tremendous hand in many respects. His main function being sales and marketing. His results and our team's results in that respect are amazing already. I'll tell you about those in a moment. Salim Zahir in the back, head of business development. And as we begin to build the team out here, you know, we need a number of functions, but engineering is a key focus. We've got two tremendous national resources right in the front here, Duncan Kuhn and Kyle Hardman. And last but not least, the guy that's got all the hard jobs, and I mean all the real hard jobs, grinding, difficult jobs, is Todd Simon, who's recently joined us. So thank you. Okay, thanks for bearing with me through that. Really just, you know, really means a lot to me to have this tremendous team behind me, and it goes well beyond that. All the people we're bringing on board or have brought on board are equally credentialed in their respective areas. So let me talk a little bit about the airplane. I'll try to go a little more quickly, and you can jump in with any questions anytime. As I said, the company, it's going to be hard to do this from this angle. I'll move over here. The company is led by, obviously, a seasoned aerospace team. We have developed this hybrid electric propulsion system that allows this airplane to fly very economically, long distance, high speed, high altitude, and conduct many missions. Out there in the world, in the market, globally, and I mean every continent, we've made we have customers who've made reservations, operators, individuals, other entities, to the tune of $1.3 billion already in backlog. We've got patents for all the technology, and we'll continue to patent things as we develop it. And then we were very confident we'll be the first commercial long-range fixed-wing vertical takeoff and landing airplane. And the market has been waiting for this for a long time. So we're solving a number of problems that have been resident in air travel and other types of travel for a long time. I list them all here. We're going to reduce emissions, provide point-to-point travel, and there's a huge opportunity where there isn't as much infrastructure as we see here in the United States. So, you know, you don't have to build new runways. You can still go far and fast. So this is what we're delivering to the market. The team I already introduced. We're selling the airplane for $6.5 million, which is right in line with other aircraft that I don't want to say compete necessarily in this space, but provide service in this space, in this range and capability, but they don't do both vertical and horizontal flight. The other statistics on it were mentioned in the video. We also have a great relationship with GE Aviation. They're developing the power and propulsion system for us, so we've had some initial really good news out of that effort, which is going to further benefit the program as we go along. This airplane is modern, it's new, but it goes back a long way. The original concept of trying to use ducted fans, why do we use ducted fans because they help provide additional efficiency or power out of as compared to open rotors. Plus they're quieter, and there's a number of other benefits. So this was tried successfully back in the 1950s and 60s and flown for years. The one on the top left flew for years, no accidents. But it was a handful. It was all mechanical, and the pilot had to work like crazy to fly it. So today, though, we have the advantage of lightweight structures, which means the airplane can actually do something besides just fly. It can carry things or people. And then because of fly-by-wire flight controls, it's a lot easier to handle. So the pilot just commands it what to do, and the computerized flight control system makes the airplane do what the pilot wants it to. We're using batteries and in parallel or in series with the engine to provide what we call a series hybrid system. So the batteries provide extra boost on the vertical takeoff, and then when you're cruising, the batteries are off, and the airplane flies on a much more efficient engine that burns less fuel, and that powers a generator, which then powers these electric motors in each of the two fans, because the rear fan is turned off. This is just a glimpse of the interior, but on the right you'll see that we can actually move one wall back a little bit. It's not structural, and you can put 7 people in the back, and you can fly shorter range missions with higher density passenger load. And then on the left there you'll see the emergency medical configuration. The door is going to be perfectly designed to accommodate both the stretcher and then of course 2 attendants in the back. So we're very confident we're going to disrupt certain segments of the aircraft market. If you think about helicopters, there's definitely going to be a large takeaway there, and then in many other areas as well. And the reasons are all given right there. One of the big things I'd like to emphasize is that we don't need a whole new set of regulations to fly this. We're going to certify under currently available FAA regulations. And we also, again, don't need charging, recharging. We don't need new runways. We can operate perfectly within the current national airspace system of this country or any other country. It's just a little graphic of the ranges. This is just the vertical takeoff range. If you do a conventional takeoff, you can go much further than these rings indicate. But the point is, you have the advantage of being able to connect high population centers, but you can also directly connect some, say, less large population centers where there is demand, and they can be connected directly. On this one, I show the outer ring, which is the conventional takeoff range, and that illustrates the fact that you can cover virtually all of Europe. If you take off, let's say, from the middle, you can go very far, and you can still land vertically. So I mentioned that we've had good market penetration thus far. This is, without really a heavy-duty sales campaign, which is, through our own informal networks and a few other efforts, we've gathered up quite a number of reservations, but it's a big market, so there's a lot more to come. We have $20 billion annual business aircraft and helicopter market, which is comprised of the items that are in the circle there. And then you also have a lot of takeaway possible from passenger trains, from commercial airline, and also even from cars, because if someone's taking a 500-mile trip, they're most likely going to drive a car, because to get there by plane, they got to go somewhere else and then back to their destination. And if this service was available where passengers could buy a ticket on this airplane, it would cost them less than it would cost them to drive their car 500 miles. So that's a $1 trillion market. The results so far, as I mentioned, 202 reservations. We have 40 aircraft that are on firm purchase order. There's another 40 optioned for the same customer. And then we have another 122 that are cash reservations. Someone has placed a deposit and is waiting for the aircraft to be delivered. A couple other aspects of the business. We're going to be a total OEM service, so that would include giving customers the options to lease aircraft, to provide insurance services. These are things people don't really think about, especially on the insurance side, but it's a costly element of aircraft ownership. And then finally, we do have a very clear pathway, we think, to zero emissions, taking the engine out of the aircraft. It's a long way down the road. Batteries are a possibility, but they're not on any kind of a Moore's Law scale of improvement. There's unknown breakthroughs that will occur over time, which will benefit that. But the energy density that's in batteries versus a gallon of fuel is incomparable. The other one that's promising is hydrogen fuel cells or other types of hydrogen fuel systems. And my personal belief is that those have a much more logical progression to potentially being installed in an aircraft like this or even larger ones. And then on the product side, we've already looked at a smaller version. You may have read about it with a partnership that we've done where we're looking at a TriFan 200, which could be an unmanned aircraft. It could be 2 pilots, and it would be used mainly for cargo, short transport. And then a bigger version, there's huge demand for a larger version of the TriFan configuration. 12 to 15 seats, and it could service a lot of thin haul routes. And then the schedule. So last but not least, this is the schedule. We are tracking toward a Q4 of 2024 certification and start of deliveries. Back that up to today, that's 42 months. And with the partnership and collaboration with Xeriant, I feel like we're well on our way. Just a depiction of where all the reservations are around the world. And thank you. Thank you very much. Take any questions? Thank you. No questions? You guys are too easy. Yes, sir. I'm going to repeat your question in the microphone and then I'll answer it. So this gentleman asked, we've seen a couple of deals where United or other airlines have connected up with an electric VTOL airplanes, which is battery powered only, very short range. And so they must have some concept of how they're going to implement that. How would we, say, complement an airline, or how would we fit into the commercial aircraft world, including larger aircraft? So, our role would be, well, let me just explain that role that you described. I land at LAX and I get in a little electric airplane and it flies me up to Santa Barbara, right? So I'm avoiding traffic. It's great. Hope it happens. In our case, we would be able to, say you can fly a direct flight with a number of passengers in from any given location out there into LAX so they can take off. Or I suppose once they land, they could pile into this and fly in what we call a thin haul route. There's not that much passenger demand, but again, you can carry actually 8 total passengers on a shorter flight. So that would be where we'd fly. And we'd be more like a feeder on both ends of a commercial flight over longer distances. Yes. Yeah. The big ones, right? And then another, just independent of that, without necessarily taking advantage of the airlines themselves, airlines are interested in the servicing some thinner haul routes independent of what they do now. So for instance, this airplane could easily fly from Dallas to Houston or Austin, and you could put a number of city pairs together all around the world and just operate this independently. Good, thank you. Any more? I forgot to plant some questions.
What do you think the learning curve will be for pilots?
Yeah, not very steep at all. I mean, it's just a type rating. It'll be a powered lift rating for a pilot, which is what they're calling it. And the airplane, the controls are going to be very much like a jet, so it'll be almost pilot-proof. That's the way I like to call it. It's a few weeks of training and some actual flights in the airplane, and good to go. I mean, Jim may want to elaborate on that a little bit, but put you on the spot. Yeah. Turn it on. You're on mute.
All right. What Bob said. No, yeah, it is a different concept that you'll have to think through, but the intention with the flight controls is to use a universal approach where the power lever is go fast, go slow, and the stick will be up and down or elevate or descend. So it'll be common concept with what airplane pilots have today. A little bit different if you entered from the rotorcraft license, but very similar to what was implemented in F-35 and some of the other urban air mobility providers are using the universal flight controls. Does that make sense? Yes. Perfect.
Thank you. All right, thanks everybody.
Reception at the, thank you. We have a reception as soon as we leave here at the Halcyon Hotel.